Welcome back. It is your boy Joker. We are here again, yes, with another zzzero video. Now, if you guys are new, or I mean, if you guys have been here before, you already know what time it is. We are still in the middle of our 30-day straight challenge that actually finishes at the end of this month. I set it up to where you know what I mean? It's just at the end of the month, boom, and that's going to be challenge number 2 completed. We did 100 days straight. 30 days should be easy money. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys were here yesterday for the last video, you guys already know I gave you a little sneak peek or a little, Easter egg. I said the Harry Potter fans are gonna like this one because we're here with number 2 of the characters and what houses they would be in. This is kind of random, I'm not gonna lie to you. Y'all already know the tiers. You got Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, and Hufflepuff. Now, if you guys don't understand or don't know, I am a Hufflepuff. This is very simple, very easy. You already know, so that is the best house. Now, we do have my sister here with me. Y'all have heard of her voice before in the Bang Boo video. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Mel.
Hey. Oh, okay. Well,
wow. Hey. Oh,
what?
God.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Yorobun? It's your girl K-pop and Mel. What does it do? How y'all doing, everyone?
Hey.
You gonna leave me alone, okay? I'm going through puberty.
Ooh. But
what's up, everybody?
We have some really good stuff over there on her channel, you guys. She's playing Beat Cop right now, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Or did you just finish Beat Cop?
Be out this week.
Okay, cool.
It's finishing out this week.
So if you guys know what that is or are curious in general, go ahead and check that out. We got some good gameplays going on over there. But today we're gonna be locked in on something different. She is also a fellow Hufflepuff, so that's the most important thing, and 2, you know what I mean, a Harry Potter enjoyer. So I know last time it was just me by myself, and I had some comments that kind of like gave me some different perspective on certain characters, so I thought that this would be good to have another person to give me real-time perspective, you know what I mean, because I could think one way, somebody else can give me a better example or another way to think, and then make some sense here. Mel, I think you know pretty much a good portion of these characters. You might be a little bit out of the loop on some of them.
I think it's like a few that I don't recognize just because I think they just, for the most part, kind of came out recently. But I think a majority, like 80 to 85% to 90 is like, I know.
So if it is people that I know for sure you don't know, or if you say you don't know, I'll try to give you like a little brief summary, or if I feel like it's just very simple, let me kind of know exactly where they're going to be. And to be honest with you, the very first person is Hugo. Do you know anything about Hugo at all?
Isn't he like a vampire or something?
I think he is, and I think Vivian also is. He is somebody that's very like cunning and behind the scenes and very tricky person, you know what I mean, like he does stuff, so I wouldn't say legal.
Go ahead, put that in the green place.
Yeah,
put it in the green place.
This is exact this guys, I'll be genuinely surprised if anybody in the comments disagrees with this. This should be very simple. Hugo should be Slytherin, and it just is what it is, right? I'm not saying he's a bad person, right? Not all Slytherins are bad.
Slytherin are not bad people. They just have a few bad eggs.
Yeah, you have a few bad eggs, which, I mean, you could say the same for every house. Hufflepuff, I don't know. Hufflepuff, everybody's great, but we'll leave that for later. But you guys do have the GOAT Snape. So,
true.
Hey, that's one of the best characters. No cap. Okay. Pulchra. So her, do you know much about her at all?
I don't know anything about her, to be honest with you.
Okay, so she's the new addition to the Sons of Caledon. She is a former like rival, I guess you could say, gang member. She ended up joining the Sons of Caledon after all of that stuff and that storyline happened, and also after she got her behind handed to her by Bernice. So she ended up joining them. I mean, I would say she has a little bit of like a cunning-ish personality, but she is inherently not a bad person at all. She does care for, she's like a tsundere, I guess you could say, right? Okay. She cares for people, but she's not going to just straight out say it. Like the way she cares for people is, you know what I mean? She's like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna straight up say you care for people. I'm just keep it that. You know what I mean? Y'all are nice people, but you ain't going. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's kind of how she is.
Okay. See, it's giving Slytherin, but I feel like she might be. It's also giving kind of Gryffindor-y as well.
Okay, so what are you thinking here? Because I would agree a little bit with Slytherin, but I mean, you look at Hugo, she's not even
like her and Hugo are. That's why I was saying, like
Hugo,
like with her being as cunning as she is and like how
Yeah.
she moves, it kind of gives a bit of Slytherin, but I think it's giving more Gryffindor maybe.
Okay.
Like how is she loyal? Because you know that's
Yeah.
Gryffindor's main thing is that
So-
they're loyal.
The thing with Hugo as well is Hugo is also loyal and he does care about, I guess you could say, well, more or less Vivian, because that's like his little sister. So they're both loyal and care, but it's just like Hugo's strictly like the way he does stuff is very, you know what I mean? Not status quo, I guess you could say.
Right.
Poltra, I want to say when she was with the other gang, it was given off a little bit Hugo, right? But ever since she's joined the Sons of Caledon, like they have her doing like little grunt work because he just joined and she has to prove herself, and she doesn't even complain about it. And she's like, yeah, I already understand what it is, and she does like what she's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And I understand like Gryffindors, they are loyal, and a lot of the Gryffindors are a little bit more front stage and center. Not all of them, but like they take lead for real. And that's where my disconnect with Polkra comes, because I think she's more of like a just go with the flow, you know, kind of chill person. I think she can take lead, but you know, she's not Caesar.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
She's an interesting one. We're already getting locked up on the second one.
Yeah, I don't even. Can we come back to her? Like, is that a thing we can do?
We can
or
come
no?
back to her. We can come back to her.
Okay, yeah, let's come back to her.
So Evelyn, do you know much about Evelyn? Or we're gonna put her down here. That way
is that the bodyguard to the singer?
Yes, this is the bodyguard to the singer.
Slightly know who she is. Slightly know.
Okay, so as far as some other personalities go, obviously she's very loyal to somebody like Astrial. That is her. You know what I mean? She bodyguards her. And in fact, from my knowledge, she was a part of like an assassination or kind of like a little, what do you call it, group. And one of her projects was to actually kill Astrial, and she didn't want to do it, so she kind of left that and then ended up like becoming the strict bodyguard for her. She is kind of like a business first person for sure. She is smart, she's highly intelligent. She doesn't really show off much, I guess you could say, personality, because she's really business oriented. The things that we do know about her as far as stuff that isn't just business, fight, is she does like I think moths is her favorite, like kind of, what would you call it, like a butterfly? Yeah, like that is her so she has like moths around her stuff. And I know that when she drinks, she is cooked. Like she's cooked. I know that. That's like the only two scenes you see her not being business oriented in, but she's mostly like, you know, a real business person, I guess you can say.
Right. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. From what I do know, and then from what you told me, like even like in the beginning when you was explaining her, she gave me very much so Ravenclaw vibes.
Okay, I can see that.
Like
I like that.
But like you said, like she's very highly intelligent and everything. I was like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. I mean, you gotta have some sort of intelligence to be somebody's bodyguard, because you always gotta know exactly, you know, what threats can be posed, like what threats are being posed against the person. Anything that's in regards to that, you gotta be on your toes, especially. And then you also gotta know the person that you are protecting as well.
Yeah.
You gotta have a level of intelligence when it comes to that stuff to worry about all of that stuff all at the same time. I think Ravenclaw fits her most.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So another person, Mr. Lycon. Now,
yes,
I know you know a good portion about him, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know some of the new stuff, right?
Oh, he's got news lore. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
really New York. Okay, so he was a part of a group called Mockingbird, which is what Hugo's a part of. Back in the gap, those two used to be like, they were joined at the hip. They were brothers. They were the ones that were doing all that type of stuff. They had a code that was to pretty much like, yeah, go do the stuff that you got to do, while it be kind of illegal or not, but do not take another person's life. And Hugo was the person that took somebody's life, so it kind of broke that code. And you know, Lycon ended up going the other way to Victoria housekeeping, and then Hugo kind of went his own way. And then like in the newer story, they had like a couple of clashes, I guess you can say, because now it's kind of like their master that passed away was telling Lycon like at a point in time, excuse me, at a point in time, Hugo's probably going to go bad, and you have to be the one to stop him. Kind of like, you know, stuff like that. So they kind of got like that little rivalry. They were once closest of friends, I guess you could say. They did both go do that Mockingbird stuff, but once Hugo kind of, and it's more to the story, so it's not just like Hugo just killed somebody, right? But like there were reasons for it, but regardless of the reasons, he did break that code, and that was what they set in stone. So Lycan didn't mess with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, he is a highly intelligent character. Lycan might be one of the smartest characters in the show or in the game, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying he is, but he's definitely one of. He does have that cunning aspect, I guess you could say, that Slytherins do have. But I think he has his wits about him. Him and Evelyn are very similar, put it that way.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it was given either Ravenclaw or Gryffindor for me. And I think what you said, like with the level of intelligence that he has already off rip, that immediately gives off Ravenclaw. Not saying the other houses are like stupid.
Yeah,
but like Ravenclaws are known for their intelligence.
Known for their intelligence. Yeah.
Literally, their like whole basis. Just like Gryffindor is known for loyalty, Hufflepuff is known for being the greatest out there. You know what I mean?
I mean, and that's just what the books tell us.
That's just what the facts is.
We're not trying to like lie to you people here. That's just what happens. They're known for being the best. I'm sorry, but
I don't know what to tell you. Like, we literally cause no problems. We just be chilling. We be eating. We next to the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
We're technically the only house that can get along with everybody because, well, Ravenclaw's kind of chill, I guess you could say, but Slytherins don't like Gryffindors. Gryffindors don't usually like Slytherins. Obviously, there's differences and there's some exceptions to the rule, but that's kind of like the house rivalries. And Slytherin, actually, the only house they get along with is Hufflepuff, because Hufflepuff gets along with everybody. Oh,
because everybody likes us.
I mean, there's no reason to hate us. You know what I mean? But
you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? We're just gonna let that.
We have the sources. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we're next to the kitchen, so you know what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Speaking of being next to the kitchen, go ahead and put my girl up there with us.
Oh, okay, good. So I already know you know much about Sokaku. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking Sokaku's Hufflepuff for sure. She's a very bubbly personality. She can tank some food, and she's just like she's one of those characters that she's around like everybody. This is the Anya Forger of this game.
Yeah, she's everybody's in the game.
That's everybody's little her and like Corn and them. They're the little sisters of the game for sure. But her, that's easy work. It is what it is. Give her the yellow and black robe. Okay,
go ahead, give it to her.
Astriel. So,
okay,
what do you think here?
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you what I initially think based on what I know.
Okay.
I feel like that should be all right, but I might need more information later.
Okay.
From what I do know about her, I would say she might be, I would say a Gryffindor if I have to go out of everybody, or like, you know, the houses that I have. And I'm basing that off of her loyalty to her fans.
Okay. If
that makes sense. Like, I would assume she's likable, but she is an idol, so I don't know to the extent. I don't know her full story, so I don't know if I would consider her a Hufflepuff in that regards for that. Not saying she's stupid, but she's not giving me the other qualities of a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Like, she's a whole, not saying Ravenclaws aren't extroverted, but a lot of them are, like, more introverted than anything just because they are studious people. They are intelligent. You know, they like to know about things. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
She doesn't give that. And she doesn't give, like, the cunningness of a Slytherin. So, with all of that being said, I think she's a Gryffindor. That's where I would put her.
I think I might agree here. Because, and I agree for those reasons, and then another reason, because she is an idol, she is so used to being, like, at the lead position. Does that make sense? Like, in front, and where the pack is, she's at the front of the pack. You know what I'm saying? And you see like some of her interactions with NPCs and even like the the main characters, like she wasn't even scared. Like she's straight up with everything. You know what I mean? Like very, very true. Like she has some Hufflepuff, I guess you could say, qualities as far as like kindness and all of that type of stuff for sure. But I think her like forwardness, like Astriel could be one of those characters where she'll say something and you never even really have a second guess if she's telling the truth or not. You know what I mean? You just know that's what she's saying is what's happening for sure. You know what I mean? And whereas some of the other characters, like let's say even these two, Evelyn or Lyca, they say something and you gotta, okay, well there might be like something else that they're thinking while they're, you know what I mean, like something else, or you know for sure whatever Hugo's telling you is probably cap. Right. You know, I would just keep it a stack. I would just Hugo tells me that, hey man, don't even stop it. But you know what I'm saying. But I think the out forward, like the extrovertness is giving a little bit of the Hufflepuff as well, but like her natural born kind of like, I'm in the front, it is what it is. She doesn't shy away from any of that type of stuff. Gives a little bit of the Gryffindor vibe. So I think you're spot on with that.
Okay. Yay, look at me go.
There goes the goat. Lighter.
Oof. That's my man's. Also, did not realize that voiced by Alec Lee, which is kind of dope. That's kind of cool.
Do you know much about his backstory or anything about him?
I think I did play that part of the game. I don't think I played his individual story, but as far as like where I am in as far as the game wise, I think I got a sense of him. He used to be, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. He used to be like this big shot fighter dude over there.
Boxer.
Yeah, boxer, right. Big time, big shot. And he was just winning round after round after round. I don't remember if he was with somebody, like with a group, and fighting for them or whatever the case may be. I don't remember. I think they wanted him to throw a match or something like that. He didn't. I might be lying. I think I feel like I'm lying.
No, you're good.
Am I lying?
You're good. You're in the ballpark. I mean, you're pretty much getting the information that you need. Yeah.
Okay. I do know that I forgot that scarf of his is very significant to him, and I forgot why it is. But as far from what I know, personality-wise, he's very to himself. He's very cool, very calm, collected of sorts. I think he feels like he's a go with the flow kind of person. I don't know. Tell me about Lighter. I feel like I might be just messing him up.
So I don't know if you either got the information from the story or the character teaser. I mean, they both pretty much tell you essentially the same exact thing. Also, he is on banner right now. I summoned and I got him, thank God, because the first time he was on banner, I got fried. But we got him. He's home. Very good. Anyways, he is somebody that is very, I guess you could say, loyal to his people for sure. As far as his backstory goes, the things with the scarf and everything, you could tell what people that are close to him mean to him, I guess you could say. And even with the Sons of Caledon, I mean, he was just contracted to kind of be a bodyguard, but I mean, so he's a little bit different than some of the other people from the Sons of Caledon are, where you could say that they're quote unquote homegrown. Lighter wasn't really homegrown. He showed up when he was already an adult. Unlike like Lucy and some of these other people that kind of like, you know what I mean? But he's very loyal to the Sons of Caledon. He is a champion level fighter, which are, you have the Overlord, which is the big hoss, that would be Caesar. And before you ever get to Caesar, theoretically, the champions are supposed to be the last line of defense. They are the best fighters, other than the Overlord herself, obviously, that you have to see, and you don't want to see them, if that makes sense. Like, those are the guys, that's the last stop. You really don't want to see them, and that would be Lighter and Billy. Billy is a former champion. He went to the Cunning Hares, but Lighter and Billy were the champions. Like, those dudes are for real. And other than that, I mean, he is very, he's somebody that I can give intelligence to, but his natural charisma to me is very, it's like he's one of those guys that are cool, not because he says he's cool, but because people say that he's cool. You know, one of those. You know what I mean? Like you have the people like
he just has the aura of just like I want to
his
be around this guy because
his
he's just
natural
that dope to be around.
charismatic kind of aura would have people be interested in his character already. You know what I mean? The way he speaks and the way he brings it, like he, you know what I mean? He carries himself as somebody that people would be like to be, I guess you could say, around. It's
with
interesting.
That kind of an explanation.
Yeah, go ahead, because I think you might give the same answer I'm thinking.
You want to say it at the same time?
Sure. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Gryffindor.
Okay. Yeah, we can go with Gryffindor as well.
No. I want to hear what you say from Hufflepuff. Go ahead, because you might give me a
everything you were saying just now. I mean, granted, he's not like the extrovert of the whole crew or whatever the case may be or whatever. You know what I mean? But I feel like he definitely is giving Hufflepuff vibes. In the fact that because he's cool, he's like radiating this aura about him to where people are, you know, he's cool with folks when he needs to be, when he needs to get active, he'll get active. But I mean, I could also say that he could be a Gryffindor as well.
Okay.
I think, I don't know. I was giving Hufflepuff just because of his aura and the way he does vibe, but also just like he's likable.
Yeah, kind of like that natural born. And see, I feel like Hufflepuff and Gryffindor is always really close when you think about it, right? Because him, like, you could have 2 types of Gryffindors, 2 types of Hufflepuffs. So like you have Gryffindors where they're not even really that extroverted. Like, yeah, they talk to people and stuff like that, but they're not going around hi. Like, let's say
like
Neville, or even for Hufflepuffs, like let's say Cedric, right? People like Cedric for sure. You know what I mean? But he wasn't like a super loud in your face extrovert at all. You know what I mean?
That's the same thing with Lighter. That's what, like, it gives off the same vibe.
I think I like the Hufflepuff look.
I think he'd look good in some yellow.
I see what you're saying. I think the hat probably would have picked one of those 2. Would have to be. But
it definitely would have been one of those.
I like the Hufflepuff. Okay, cool. I like it. I like it. Now, what do you know about Seth?
I think off rip Seth. Well, I do know he works with the police folks. Don't ask me the faction name. I genuinely forgot what it is. I know it works with them. He's over there with the old lady.
Yep.
And oh Lord, I forgot Master Cheeks' name, but
Ju-Wan?
Ju-Yan.
Yeah, something like that.
Ju-Yan, yeah. Over there with the old lady and Master Cheeks.
Master Cheeks.
That's her name, man.
And Jane Doe now. Jane Doe's with them. She's just, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot she's an undercover. Yeah. I forgot. I keep forgetting about that, man.
Yep.
Dang. But I think Seth is what is he? He's a cat, or not a cat person, but he's
I think he is a cat.
He's a
Thyron, yeah. Thyron, one of those 2. Yeah.
What is he, like a dog or something?
Cat.
He's also a cat.
I believe he is a cat, and Jane is a mouse.
Okay. Because I was about to say, he gives me puppy dog, like just like golden retriever type vibes.
Yeah, I believe he's a cat. I could be wrong. Comments, make sure y'all correct me. I want to say he is a cat. I think I'm going to
put him in Gryffindor.
I agree.
I think he's a Gryffindor straight through and through. The loyalty he has to his faction, to his co-workers and all that, like, he wants to do right. He wants to do good and everything of that nature. He just gives straight up Gryffindor.
He is your textbook officer. He's your employee of the month. That dude is, for sure. Very simple, very simple. Lucille.
Ooh,
the Hispanic.
Lucy Lou. Ooh, what do I say about Lucy?
This is interesting. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Cause
she's the one that keeps everything in line, even though they don't take her seriously. Because she is always getting on Caesar's case all the time. Like, girl, put the fireworks away. Why do you have these flamethrowers out? We aren't even put it away. We got things we got to do, and you're not doing this correctly. Like, why aren't you? What is happening?
Yeah, she's definitely the glue that holds the team together for sure.
I think because of that, I might want to put her at Ravenclaw.
I think I might like that.
I think I'm gonna put it at Ravenclaw just because, like you said, she's the glue. She knows any and everything that she needs to know because she is running this. Not. It's like if Caesar is the foreman, you got Lucy being her right hand for real, for real. Like Bernice will be her left hand. You can see all that go down, but Lucy's her right hand. Like she has stuff put together so well. And I want to say that. I want to say she is a Ravenclaw.
I agree.
Of that.
She is the smartest character in my opinion. She might even be smarter than Lighter. Just because, well, one, she's from a well-known wealthy family that she ran away from. But she is in charge of pretty much all of the logistics dealing with the Outer Ring, as far as from Outer Ring communications to the city. Like she's in charge of pretty much all of that, like all the number crunching, all of the conversations, all that stuff. Lucy goes to do it, more or less, because, well, Caesar is Caesar. Bernice is probably going to burn something, and the champions, that's not the champions' job. The champions they're supposed to be bodyguards. You know what I mean? So, so she's the one that kind of does all of it, and Piper's just transport. She's just she's just transporting stuff. So yeah, I like Ravenclaw. I think that makes sense. She is very smart. She is a lot louder than the other two, but you know, that does not mean that she cannot be a Ravenclaw. For sure, I think it's giving Ravenclaw, maybe slightly Gryffindor, but I don't think she has that much. I mean, obviously the loyalty, all of the characters in this game are pretty much loyal, but you know what I mean? As far as
it's more just like I feel like with all of her qualities wrapped in the one, I feel like she would have got the Ravenclaw. Would have shot her Ravenclaw with a quickness. Wouldn't even need to put it on her head.
So, best boy is next. My boy Harumasa. What you know about Harumasa?
Now, I don't really know too much about him. Not as much as I thought I did. Because I see him and I'm just like, I don't, outside of like Sector 6, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Section 6.
Yeah. I don't know much about them. Like, when it comes to any of that faction, to be honest with you, I don't know much about them. Because by the time I unintentionally just stopped playing the game, that's when all of their stories was kind of coming out.
Okay.
So I don't know much about them like that. So what's Best Boy got?
A quick little backstory that might give you a little bit more clarity on just the different branches of government and police, I guess you could say, in the game, is that you have your different branches, right? They all went to the same academy to learn the same stuff. Haramasa went to the academy at the same time that Seth was at the academy. They just ended up in different branches. The main one, which is I think it's like a New Eridu police department or service or whatever the heck. They're your standard local police department. That's pretty much what it is, right? Like, so Zuiwan, Chingy, and Seth. I mean, Jane Doe's a little bit different because she does some behind the scenes stuff, but they're your normal everyday police. You know what I mean? They stop your little, what do you call it, brawls here and there, and you know, stuff like that. Just dealing with New Eridu and stuff like that. The Obel Squad is like a defense force, if that makes sense. That would be Soldier and Trigger. They're kind of there for more top secret-ish missions, I guess you could say, dealing with people that are just threatening New Eridu in general. So that could be either actual voids that are spawning, and then you have all of those you know, ether people pulling up. I forgot the names already. I always remember them and then forget them already. You know, the little monsters. You know, they can be there for that, or they can be there specifically for, it could just be random people, like actual people that are threatening the city. Like they're a step above what the normal police would be doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you got police and you got like SWAT team. That's what Obel Squad is. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what they do. Now, Section 6 is probably, not even probably, it's the highest, I guess you could say, branch you could be, because they specifically only pull up for the most dangerous situations. You know what I mean? Does it make sense? So, like, before they should show up, the police and Oval Squad should have already handled it. Like, they're there for the most dangerous monsters and stuff like that. That's where Section 6 shows up. And they're also the most popular because of that. And because they have a Void Hunter in the team. Void Hunter is there's only 7 Void Hunters and a mayor has to award you it. And if you are a Void Hunter, you are essentially like the 7 most important people in the city. Like, you're like the city defenders. And one of those Void Hunters would be Miyabi. So her crew is very famous because of that. But anyways, Harumasa is a part of that crew. He's more of a laid back kind of like funny chill guy. He gives a little bit of comedic relief, opposite than Billy, because Billy's more of a like extroverted kind of like funny person, if that makes sense. I would say Harumasa's more of a comedic relief, like how Gojo is, right? Where Gojo's not going around, well, he is being Gojo, but at the same time it's not like as openly funny, if that makes sense. Like Billy, you could tell how type of funny he is, whereas like Harumasa would be more like crack a joke here and there, like, oh, I guess I gotta go to work, or stuff like that. He's more of like a laid back kind of funny type of stuff. He does have a little bit of a secret, which isn't necessarily anything too bad. Everybody in Section 6 has a secret. So all of them do. His is more or less that he got inflicted with like ether type stuff because he was ether corruption. So if he doesn't take pills at a certain time of day, he's going to transform into a monster permanently, and that's it. But that's because he got experimented on when he was a little kid by some freaky doctors. So he's kind of, you know what I mean? That's just kind of what he is. But really cool character, but he's more of like a laid back person. You know what I mean? Kind of chilling most of the time. Just think like Gojo, but without he does some, not Gojo's aura around a lot of people, because Section 6 has a lot of fans, so he has a really big fan base, but it's more or less Section 6 has a lot of fans, not just him.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of like that, I guess you could say.
Okay. Let's see. With that information, giving Hufflepuff.
Okay.
I think it's giving Hufflepuff.
We'll put my boy over there in Hufflepuff. You know what I mean? I have. That's the only character I cosplayed. So
then it makes sense.
I have no problems with that. My boy up there.
Kung Fu Panda here.
My boy Poe. So he's not even out yet. He's coming out in 10 days. I don't know anything about him. I know his fighting style. I know he's a healer, and I know he's a part of what's it called? Is it Yingzhui Summit or something like that? It's a new faction that's just now coming out. We don't know much about him. So we're probably going to have to put him here until we figure him out, because we just don't know enough yet.
Right.
But he seems like a really cool character.
I mean, character design wise, he looks kind of dope.
Oh yeah, that's Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he fights using just his hands. There's no weapons, so yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Well, he fights using Kung Fu specifically. Like, so yeah, no.
I'm here for that.
He's an A-rank character. He's coming home. Easy money.
I'm here for that.
Coletta.
That's my girl.
That's your favorite character, Coletta.
That's my girl. Oh, I love Coletta so much. Don't even worry about why. That's my girl. Love her to death. Coletta's definitely Gryffindor.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
She's definitely Gryffindor. I don't even.
100%.
I feel like your viewers, they play the game. Your people, they play the game. They know what Coletta's about.
Yeah. 100%.
We've discussed Gryffindors enough. Y'all can put 2 and 2 together. To be honest with you, she's almost as textbook Gryffindor as Seth is at this point.
Yeah. Those are your natural born kind of like leaders.
Yeah. She's definitely the leader. Like, she's leader of the faction for the
Bellowbog Industries. She's the president of Bellowbog Industries. That's her company.
That is her company.
They all work for her.
Left that to her. She took that over, and she is running that thing efficiently. She's got her crew with her, obviously, but hey, she took that mantle and ran with it. I'm just like, yes. Very much so leadership skills in that regard. She's very loyal to her font. Like, you can't mess with none of her employees. I don't care who you with. Yeah. Also, she employs big teddy bears, so we love that as well.
And she has a little teddy bear accessory on her head. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And the
yes, yes,
logo.
yes, 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 yes. She has the little ears and when. Oh my god, I just love a character design. Love Coletta. That is my girl.
Adorable. Also,
Oh Lord.
Okay, no, never mind. I'll tell you that later. Okay, next, Nicole. I feel like I know where she's gonna be at already. Just I know.
Not gonna hold you, Chief. She's given very much so Slytherin, and it's literally because she's cunning.
It's too easy.
Her faction name is she is the leader of the Cunning Hairs.
It's too easy, bro. She does everything black market under the table. Man, she's another person. If she's telling you something, you're gonna be like,
Right. Of course.
All right, Nicole. Right.
What did she do? She had a coupon for something to get some free stuff. She was like, "Hey, put on this disguise and go get what?"
It was. I want to say it was a coupon to the noodle shop, and she said, "I'll give you these coupons, but you gotta buy one." And if you, pretty much like she was trying to get Wise to buy one of the noodles, and then there was a coupon for a free bowl. But it was kind of like, well, I have to spend money for you to get the bowl. Like she was like, "Yeah, look, I'm gonna give you this coupon, so if you buy one, you get another one, but it's gonna be mine, by the way." Like, all right, Nicole. All right, girl.
All right,
Nicole cheesing. She's cheesing.
Literally, she is the leader of the Cunning Hairs.
Yeah,
like cunning is literally in the name.
The hat wouldn't even be all the way on her head. It was just, go ahead.
Yeah,
and put
that thing would just barely hover. It'd be over her shoulder, and they'd be like, "Yeah, go."
Just like they did that with what Malfoy. The hat was barely on Slytherin. Go.
Yeah.
Go. I'm not even finna play with you. Go. Caesar. This, in my opinion, is very easy.
Yeah, she's also Gryffindor.
Textbook Gryffindor. Caesar right here.
Yep.
Textbook. You open up Gryffindor and you're gonna see a picture of her and Coletta right there, and Seth. You're just gonna see they're just there. Textbook.
Yeah. She's very much so leader heavy. She's very loyal to the fault again, and she just exudes all the confidence in the world that what she knows and what she's doing is right, and not in like a cocky way or anything like that. Like, no, this is without a doubt. She is doing what's right and everything in a sense, just like Seth.
Yep.
Seth does everything in his power that is right, and he knows it's right because it's the good of it all. Same thing with Bernice.
Caesar.
Sorry. Whoops, Daisy. Caesar.
You good?
But yeah, no. She's textbook Gryffindor. There's no disputing, and y'all can fight me if y'all think different.
There are two Ambies. This is interesting, but I guess we can go. I can give you the backstory on one of the Ambies and go from there. So Cunning Hair's Ambi, just Cunning Hair's Ambi.
Cunning Hair's Ambi, I would say. I'm torn.
Okay.
I'm thinking either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw.
Interesting.
Because to me, she's not as cunning as Nicole is, obviously.
Oh no. Heck no. No.
She's not as cunning as them. But I say the reason why I say Ravenclaw because she very much so is intelligent. She is. Super smart.
She's very intelligent. Now
she's very intelligent.
Ambi's an interesting case because she's technically in charge of the Cunning Hair's like funds, like making sure everything's there because she's I don't think it's a competition. She's the smartest in the Nicole's not stupid. Let me not say that. Nicole is actually pretty smart. She's just cheesing.
Yeah, how is she supposed to come up with the schemes?
Yeah, she's just cheesing. But as far as crunching numbers go, that is where Ambi is in charge of. However, Cunning Hair's always broke. So you know
I'm just like, you don't know how to. But that's another reason why I would put her in the Hufflepuff.
I'm thinking Hufflepuff as well because everybody. They all like Ambi. Ambi's probably one of the more laid back. Ambi's just she's definitely laid back. As long as I get to watch my movies and eat my burgers,
right? She's soft spoken as I don't know what. Everybody likes her. She doesn't cause no problems. That's why I was like, okay, so there's the Hufflepuff, but I also was like Ravenclaw because I know she's like super ass intelligent. Yeah, I know she really is about trying to piece together and find out stuff. She is a whole movie. What's a movie file? Cinephile. She's a whole cinephile. Yeah. And to take in films as an art form instead of just for the enjoyment in it takes a level of intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what it's either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. It's one of those. I'd be happy with either or, to be honest with you.
I think I agree with you for both. the only reason why I'd put this one in Hufflepuff is because let's go ahead and start with her. So this one, I'm assuming you don't know this version of Ambi at all.
Right? I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that was a skin in the game. I didn't know that it was a whole separate character.
Yeah. So this Ambi was way before this Ambi ever, I guess you could say, appeared. This was her before Cunninghams. This is where she's, you know, with a loving, I guess you could say, group, and she's just kind of chilling and hanging out with people. This was back in the days where she was the leader of the Silver Squad operation, which was a cloning facility. This is where and this is the reason why her and Soldier 11 look exactly the same, because they're clones. Now, the clones are based off a certain model. Not all clones look exactly the same, as you can see. Soldier 11 is actually taller than Ambi is, but they were cloning facilities and they were used strictly for combat. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you didn't pass certain tests, then you would just be killed off and moved on somewhere else. So they were supposed to be clones, pretty much stripped of emotions, but Ambi was she was just the best. She was the captain of the squad because she was better fit at combat than everybody else was. But she also grew like an attachment to her people because, in her words, I mean, those were all her sisters. They all went through the same stuff. They all went through all that type of stuff. And, you know, she was there when bad stuff, I guess you could say, was happening to them, as far as people getting killed off. And most of it was out of her control. They would do it with or without her, I guess you could say, blessing. And then they ended up kind of cutting all of them down to just one left. They said, well, we don't even need a whole group of them. We just want one left. And it was between Ambi and Soldier 11. And Ambi was the one that was the strongest of the two. So they ordered Ambi to actually kill Soldier 11. Ambi was like, nah, I'm not finna do that, because at first, before the people, they would off the other girls themselves, but like to make Ambi kind of do it was like, she was like, no, because I was the leader of these girls, I'm not finna no, hell no. And she decided to essentially slit her own like neck and jump off of the building.
Wow.
To sacrifice essentially herself so that Soldier 11 wouldn't die. So that's why when you see like that random space, or whatever, what do you call it, when it shows like Ambi falling down, it's because that's what she did. She cut her neck and jumped out, kind of like showing that, you know, pretty much they were like, oh, well, I guess the Ambi one was defected too because she didn't listen, so I guess we'll keep Soldier 11. And that's how Soldier 11 was able to survive, because Ambi kind of sacrificed herself. Then Nicole found her in the little void joint, was like, yerp, and Ambi was dying, but didn't die at that time, because I'm pretty sure they gave her like medical treatment, and then Ambi became one of them. But this version of Ambi is, well, not saying that the other one isn't, but super courageous. You want to talk about leader, you know what I'm saying? Also highly intelligent. I mean, and she literally will rather off herself than to have her, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This version of Ambi is the GOAT. Well, both are, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. The story you were just retelling me is just it. The entire time I was like, yeah, that's just a Gryffindor.
Yeah,
that's just a Gryffindor through and through.
She is an interesting part. Definitely has the brains and all that stuff. She has the same brain, so definitely very smart. Gets the Ravenclaw aspects, but again, like you said earlier, just being smart doesn't mean that isn't Ravenclaw specific,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So
like Ravenclaws are out here to seek the knowledge, to make sure to see what is actually working and things of that nature.
But yeah, she definitely exudes a lot of that.
Yeah, put old woman up there in Hufflepuff.
You like? Oh, okay. Why? Let me hear this. All
right. So first of all, you talking about just chill out and vibing? That's her. Granted, she will get active.
Yeah.
She will definitely get active, but she wants to sip her tea.
Yeah.
That's it.
Facts.
She just wants to live the simplest of life, and she just wants to sip her tea, play whatever that pie show game or whatever, or go with the old folks.
Yeah.
Like, she just wants to chill. Everybody likes her.
Mm-hmm.
No one really complains about her. She does her job and she just chills. That's just the Hufflepuff through and through on that.
I think I agree with that. I like it.
I can't really see her nowhere else, really. She's not cunning. she's not necessarily saying she's not smart, but she ain't seeking out nobody's knowledge for anything. Not really.
I think most of her knowledge just comes from her experience being alive. Like, she's probably the oldest character in the game. Like, for real. Like, her or maybe Piper, just they're old. They're ancient. Well, no, she's actually ancient. Piper's is old. But she's like, yeah, no. So most of her brains might come from like wisdom versus actually like, you know, seeking it out. But I want to say, other than Section 6, she's probably one of the characters in the community, like in the game community, like the actual NPCs, where the NPCs love Chingy. They love her, especially the old folk. They just like, oh, that's the homegirl right there. Like, they love being around her. She's at the park with everybody. I could see some Hufflepuff-esque stuff coming from that one. Yeah, I got you. I agree.
Right. Yeah, no,
Soldier.
I can't see that. Soldier 11.
Well, I guess, you've kind of heard the backstory-ish for her.
Yeah, and I actually do know a little bit about her.
Okay, cool. What you got there?
I don't know. It's in between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. But I don't know if she's actively seeking out, like she is, because she's a spec op, so obviously she's looking for information. But I don't know if I would deem it that kind of seeking of information that would be Ravenclaw-esque. But obviously it is definitely giving Gryffindor on that front. I don't know. I don't know. It's between those two.
I think I agree with you with those two. It's interesting because she is probably one of, other than like Lycan and some of the other characters, she's one of the most punctual people in the entire series. Like, if she says that you need to be somewhere at 10 p.m., she's there at 10:59. You know what I mean? Every time, without fail, it doesn't matter. Like, she's one of the most punctual people, especially even in Oval Squad. She doesn't take no days off. Kind of like, I mean, Juwan does that a little bit too, but Juwan has a little bit more personality. Like, Soldier 11, she's not in clone mode, but she's somebody that hasn't had a chance to really break out of it. You know what I mean? So, like, Ambi has found something to do other than just fight. She likes movies, she likes burgers, you know what I'm saying? Soldier 11 is like, yo, if we're not working out or fighting something, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Like, there is not really like like, I lied. There is one thing Soldier will do, and it's after she's done all of her missions already, because she still doesn't know what a day off is, and that is eat ramen. How Ambi is with burgers, that's how Soldier 11 is with ramen. She is all over ramen. She's over there at what's his name? You know what I'm talking about, the dude with the red mask. She's over there at Homeboy's booth all the time.
The noodle guy.
Yeah, in fact, he in the game stays open late because of her. Other than that, he would have went home already. So, like, that's in his own words why he stays open as late as he does. Because I'm pretty sure once you go to like late night and you're on 6th Street, some of the shops, like, the people aren't standing outside of the shops anymore. The dog is asleep, but like, his noodle booth is still lit up. It's because of her. Right. But other than that, Soldier, literally. She doesn't even have another name. Like, she does have another name, but like, she doesn't even go by it. She just goes Soldier 11. That's like her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she is a very tactical person, so I could see where Ravenclaw is, because I could see, I don't want to say she's not a leader, because she's somebody that can lead from example. Right. But when I look at her, because of her all business, I'm looking at the Ravenclaw class and I'm seeing like Lycan and Evelyn, and I feel like she's more like Lycan and Evelyn in my opinion than she is Ambi or Caesar. Or particularly just Ambi, because Caesar, Coletta, and like the rest of the Gryffindors, they have a big mouth. Ambi doesn't really have that much of a big mouth. Her Gryffindor aspects is from what she just shows, what she does. And Soldier 11 ain't cunning at all. She ain't gonna lie to you or try to do nothing backhanded. And I mean, she could be liked a lot, but like, she's not around really anybody to be like Hufflepuff-esque. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm looking at Ravenclaw and I'm like, I look at Evelyn and Lyca, and I feel like that's just Soldier 11. You know what I mean?
I'd be happy with that.
With different
uniforms. That's why I was like,
on.
I don't know. She's not really, but that's why I was like, she's not actively, like, she's seeking out knowledge, obviously, because that's part of her job. But as far as like it's not that kind of knowledge, if that makes sense. But I can get behind Ravenclaw.
Yeah,
I can definitely get behind
I'm thinking pretty much that, because the only knowledge she seeks out is, well, she seeks out knowledge, but it's more for her job.
Yeah, for her mission.
So it's the same thing with like Evelyn. Like she seeks out a lot of knowledge around just what's going on in New Eridu, because she wants to know what's going on, what's going to be a threat, what's not going to be a threat, stuff like that. It's the same thing pretty much with Soldier 11. If it's going to be a threat to the operation or anything, like she'll like do all.
I need to know that.
Yeah, so I can see that. Anton, you should pretty much know.
Antoine.
You should pretty much know how he is. Just
like, oh yeah, put him in the red house for me.
Yeah, this is Gryffindor. This is the, put me in the forefront, coach, loudmouth. You know what it is. You know how he is already.
I like another easy one. All right, so grandma here, right?
Piper, yeah, another grandma, by the way, but she is. I keep saying characters are laid back. She might be the most laid back, probably too laid back, because she asleep most of the damn time.
Yeah, I think because of her relaxed state, it's definitely giving Hufflepuff.
Okay.
And I'm putting her there kind of like, not because she fits it that much, but because she doesn't fit anywhere else. She's not really all that cunning to me to be a Slytherin. She's not really seeking out anything unless they're like truck routes or something like that. So Ravenclaw is not for that. Like I said, she's mainly sleeping and stuff, so she's not really a leader unless she's, again, driving and she's leading a convoy.
Yeah.
Like, aside from that, she would kind of have to default to Hufflepuff.
I think Hufflepuff is probably, because like you were saying, I mean, it's not that she can't be a leader, but like she's perfectly fine with letting everybody else do that stuff. Like she's probably the last person, not to say that lazy people just go up there, because she's not lazy. I mean, she's in charge of all of transportation, and part of the reason why she's sleepy all the time is because she's working days and nights, hours and hours and hours on end. Like she doesn't really get as much of a break as the other sons of Caledon do. Like, yes, you got Caesar probably doing meetings and all that type of stuff, but most of the time she's in one place. Lucy has to travel here and there, but not as much. Lighter just got to stand wherever Caesar is. That's where he just got to be, and he has to look menacingly. And Bernice is probably mixing up a cocktail somewhere. So it's like Piper is constantly driving that truck around all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like that we're saying that she's lazy, but she just doesn't really have energy to do anything else.
Right.
But everybody adores Piper. People like talking to Piper because, well, she.
I don't know. Piper kind of freaky though.
She cracks those old. Well, she old school for sure. I'm just keep it a stack. Piper old school, dude. Like she not gonna be doing all that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Young stuff. Piper old. Damn grandma. She's like, hey man,
don't worry, I'm with you, Piper. I'm with you.
This is what it is. We either gonna, you know what I mean, or you know what I mean. If we gonna be playing games, I'm finna go back to sleep.
Right.
Because I gotta be up in about 4 hours to get this truck over there. So figure out whatever you need to figure out and do it quickly. That's Piper. But she cool. I like her. Jane Doe. I have a special spot for her. Very easy in my opinion, but I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Definitely not Hufflepuff.
No.
I wouldn't put her there to save my life.
No.
Now, she does have traits from the other three. She is very cunning. She has to be. It's part of her job. She has to be. It's part of her job. She's a whole covert undercover agent. If she's not cunning, she's not doing her job correctly.
Yes.
Ravenclaw, she is very intelligent.
Of course.
Again, she's seeking out knowledge because it has to do with her job, just like everybody else up there. They want to make sure that they're doing the job correctly, so they need information for that, so they're going to seek for it. Gryffindor. This one's kind of iffy because it's not the loyalty aspect that I'm looking at. It's more of just like the bravery. In a sense of you have to have a level of bravery to do undercover work. Okay. You have to put yourself in situations. You have to put yourself around people who obviously are not too friendly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like your life is kind of at danger almost all the time whenever you go undercover. And so because of that, that takes a level of bravery. Because of that, that's why I said Gryffindor. But I think with all of the aspects that I said, what she would fit most, I think would definitely have to be Slytherin.
Got it. I agree 100%.
Because of the amount of cunning you have to be. Because of the amount of, I don't want to say darkness as like a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's just you have to be, and you have to have a state of mind to do what she does. And Slytherins are very well versed in having that kind of state of mind. So
I mean, we still don't even know what her name is.
Yeah.
Still don't. And for the entire story that she was in, poor Seth didn't even know that she was a good person this entire time. He didn't even know who and she could have simply just told him. She didn't even do it until the very, very end. Once he was like, "Oh, I guess my cover's blown already." Like, you know what I mean? Right. But other than that, like, no, she's a very, very tricky individual.
I definitely would put her there. Lord have mercy, Mr. Billy Bob over here. Hey, well,
I'm thinking two. I'm thinking two, but I feel like I
think we're thinking the same two.
I feel like I'm leaning
Hufflepuff and Gryffindor.
Yes, I think I'm leaning a little bit to Hufflepuff more. Just because of how extroverted and how like happy he is, and he's the immediate like comedic relief when obviously he could snap in like really serious, because we saw one time in the story when Section 6 was about to like arrest like Nicole, I guess you can say. The only two people that are locked in was Ambi and Billy. They knew exactly what was going on, and Billy was like, "Yo, what's going on?" You know what I'm saying? But he's a goofy character for sure. But it makes sense that he locked in because he was a champion, and the other champion is Lighter. So we know how locked in Lighter is. So Billy can lock in when he wants to. But other than that, he's a goofball. We love Billy. Everybody loves Billy though. Yeah.
He's not really leading anybody he can, but
you tearing that food up, ain't you, girl?
I know. I'm so sorry.
No, you good. Did it finally come in?
Yeah.
Very good.
Ravenclaw, I don't really see Billy seeking out any information if it's not in regards to the Star Guardians. If it ain't got nothing to do with them, he don't really care too much, unless he has to for like a job. But even then, it's not to the degree of these other four. Billy's nobody's cunning at all. Yeah, he's in the cunning hairs, but he is nobody's cunning.
Like, I don't think he's gonna be. It's spooky. If you got to tell him to like try to, no, I wouldn't. I would let Nicole or Nekomia do it. I wouldn't. No, he's the last person.
Yeah,
the last person I would let.
Yeah, you know what? I can get behind Hufflepuff.
Okay, boom. I think that makes a little bit of sense. That makes some sense. Miss Vivian. Ooh.
I don't know anything about this woman.
Okay, so somebody that
I know she's a vampire.
Yes, so somebody that I would believe is a vampire, just like Mr. Hugo is. Hugo's last name is Vlad, by the way. So I mean, you know, that pretty much dang near guarantees it.
Hugo Vlad.
Yes. Vivian is well, for one, a simp. I'm gonna just put it that way. She loves and adores and will do anything for Wise or Bill. Particularly Wise, but really either of them, it doesn't even matter. She's like the most huge faith in kind of like fangirl ever, and that's because of the fact that she was in a really rough time of her life. And you know how you have internet, which is like your internet on the, what do you call it? Faithin kind of did a little post and she resonated with it, and you know, I guess like he was nice to her on the internet, and she was just forever indebted to her or to those people. But however, that's only around them. If she is not around them, she's a little bit more like Hugo. So Mockingbird was Lycan and Hugo at first, after the, what do you call it, after their master like passed away, because it was Master Lycan and Hugo. After Master passed away, it was those two. Code was broken. Lycan left Mockingbird. The new Mockingbird is Hugo and Vivian. You first see Vivian when you're at one of those high profile auctions, and she is one of the more finessable characters. She can finesse her way in and out of situations. She's damn near like your base cunning person. You know what I mean? Think of like Nicole, but really, really serious. Unless Wise or Belle are there, then she does a complete 180. Like she's in simp mode, like, hey, do you need something to drink? Are you hungry? That type of stuff. But if those two are not there, it's giving a little bit of Vlad. Now she's a lot nicer ish than Vlad is, but she is very, I would say that she has like a lot of street smarts, because her backstory is a little bit warped and kind of sad, you know what I mean? So she's kind of like put in those positions where she doesn't trust easy, like, but for a good reason. She is also extremely smart. But what are you thinking for that? I'm
based off what you're telling me, it's definitely giving Slytherin.
That's what I'm thinking.
And again, that's with the nature of. Do me a favor. What is Mockingbird?
Mockingbird is just it's just a faction.
Oh shit.
That's all it is. It's just a faction. That was just a name.
No, with the cunning hairs, like you already know what Nicole's about. Nicole's about getting that bread.
Yeah.
One way, shape, form, or another. That's her whole MO.
I mean,
you know, with the police faction, you know what they about. Lycan and all them. I know what they do, but I still don't.
So,
it's still kind of iffy with me, Sons Calydon. That's like, what is Mockingbird?
Victoria Housekeeping is a maid service on the outside, but they do a lot of high profile work on the inside. So
right.
They make most of their money doing stuff that from high paying clients, be it like most of the time it's like bodyguard work or getting intel. That's why all of them are very proficient in combat. But it's like high-end bodyguard, maybe I would say maybe assassination, but I don't think they've done a job like that before. They probably beat the heck out of some people though, for sure. But you know, stuff like that. That's why the first time you saw them, they were tasked with protecting the ballet towers. What do you call them? You saw Ambi and them pull up, and they were like, yeah, they pulled up like, yo, like y'all got 5 seconds to leave, or we're gonna take all y'all out. But Mockingbird is more of a darker end faction that goes strictly against the government and all of that type of stuff. So it's kind of like a little rebel type joint, but they're kind of like black market behind the scenes, if that makes sense, because they're doing stuff that wouldn't technically be deemed as legal, like a lot of stealing and stuff like that. Hugo's the one that kind of does most of the actual, like, not necessarily both of them do dirty work, but Hugo does like more of the heavy lifting for it. Like when it comes to like giving more of the talks and like getting into certain situations where you have to be kind of like conniving with your words, if that makes sense. That's what Vivian's there for. She pulls up. I mean, Hugo can as well, but like she pulls up.
Basically, Vivian is the face and Hugo's the muscle. But
Mockingbird isn't necessarily something that people would know, I guess you could say, about. Like it's not something that's broadcasted from everywhere. From what the public knows, is like there's a Phantom Thief is what they call it, which is crazy because technically the Phantom Thieves is Persona, and the Persona voice actor, no, check me out, the Persona voice actor is Hugo's voice actor. So for real, Joker is Hugo.
That's
so
kind of sick.
That is like the whole like little, I guess you could say, Easter egg that they have.
Yeah, that's kind of dope.
So people on the outside know this faction as a bad thievery faction, all that type of stuff, but they don't technically know who's in it. It's the same thing with like the Phantom Thieves and Persona. People know of the Phantom Thieves, but they don't know who's in it. It's just shadowy figures, because obviously Vivian is faces in the center, but they don't know that she's a part of Mockingbird. You know what I mean? So she's there and she'll lie to you right in your face and get any information that she needs to. You know what I mean? She's just nicer than Hugo, because Hugo will put hands on you for real. Like, Hugo will move some furniture. She can, but she's not really trying to get her dress ruffled up or any of that type of stuff. Hugo don't really give a damn. Hugo said, "What's up with the hands for real?" Yeah, so I mean that's a little bit of a rundown of her character. I actually do like Mockingbird. They're pretty cool people. I like Mockingbird. Yes, I have a little bit of a bias because I mean that's Joker's voice actor, but his character's also still pretty cool.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I have to look into him.
Rena. Wow. I know I have a spot for her, but if you do have a different one, I want to hear yours.
Okay.
Do you know much, or do you want to give it like a little quick rundown?
I do. I think what I know about her. She's kind of seen as like a mama figure, or I think she puts herself in that kind of a mama figure role. I might be wrong. Am I wrong about that?
She's the head maid.
Yeah, she's the head maid, but she's not the leader. It's Lycan, isn't it?
Yeah, Lycan is the what do you call it?
Is she ditzy? I might be confusing some stuff.
Okay, so
you might, just go ahead and give me a rundown.
The ditzy person would be Corrin. Corrin's the ditzy one.
Yeah, that part I do know.
Lycan is the brains behind most of the operation, even though he is technically the muscle. Rena would, if Lycan's the brains, Rena would be classified as the muscle.
Really?
But in a certain sense. So she is the head maid because she's probably the most dangerous out of the maids. If you were in a situation bad, she's probably the last person you would want to see, because she's proficient in, I guess you could say, torture, and you know what I mean? Those type of ways of getting information from people. So essentially it's kind of like if you have information and Lycan is trying to get it from you, if you hear that Rena's going to be the next person to step in a room to get that information, you just tell Lycan what's going on. You know what I mean? She on the other than the fact that she can't cook, you know what I mean? Like on the outside, is. Oh yeah, oh god, it's terrible. But on the outside, obviously she is a sweet person, but her character model is based off of pretty much like a ghoul. So you already know like Ambi's backstory and how much of a soldier she is. Like Ambi didn't even know when they invaded the ballet towers that Rena was behind her the entire time. She didn't know until Lycan said, all right, Rena, you can chill out, they're cool. And Rena's like, okay, cool. Like she was behind her the entire time. Like Rena is extremely dangerous. But that doesn't mean she's a bad person, obviously. But her kind of way of doing things is a little bit underhanded and not as well. Like if she wants information, she's not gonna go in there and punch you in the face. That's probably gonna be like Ellen or Lycan. They'll probably just go in there and do that. Ellen just because she doesn't feel like doing anything else, and if that's the quickest way, then whatever. Lycan just because, well, I mean, yeah, he can outsmart you for sure, but like Rena's more like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to figure out a character that I know that would be a great comparison, but I'm not sure as of the moment. Like she's just somebody you do not want to see, put it that way, if you're on the opposing side of them. Very dangerous. I
think with the information that you told me, I don't know if it's giving cunning in that sense. I don't really want to put her in Slytherin. I'm thinking maybe Gryffindor.
Okay, why do you think Gryffindor?
So like I said, so she doesn't fit the aesthetics, or I use aesthetics very, very loosely when I say that. But I can't put her in Hufflepuff. She just doesn't fit the qualities for that.
I might have left something out, I guess.
What'd you leave out?
Okay, so another thing about her is you don't, I guess this is pretty much stitching on where she would have been at, is that you don't really know what she's thinking, because every time she's could be doing something bad, you can ask her, she'll just give you like that blank smile, like I don't know what you're talking about. There was one interaction where she was standing next to a locker and there was something in it, and Wise was asking like, hey, what's going on? She was like, oh, nothing much. He was all like, like, why are you by that locker, like what's in it? She was like, oh, you don't want to know. He was like, why not? She was like, well, if you opened it and saw it, you probably wouldn't want to, you know what I mean? Probably wouldn't talk to me anymore. Or, you know what I mean? Like, she's very roundabout she's roundabout of telling you certain things without, maybe that's probably one of the tactics that I was telling you about. I guess you can say it's just she does it really, but you don't really know too much about what she's thinking, because she'll lie to you, but she won't necessarily tell you the truth. And if you get closer to the truth, she's going to give you that blank smile that you see right there, I guess you could say.
See, but something like that, with that example that you gave me, it's giving more like, hey, I'm doing this for your protection. Like, you don't want to know what's in there.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
You ain't gonna like it. I'm trying to spare you from seeing something you're not gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you like kind of elaborate on that, that's the kind of feeling it gave me. Is she okay?
No, you're good.
I don't. That's what I'm getting. Now, I might be wrong in that regards, but that's how it seems to me. Just because, like you said, if she wants you to know something, she'll let you know. If she don't want you to know, she's not gonna tell you about it. She'll just try to deter you from it.
Yeah.
And
at the same time,
it can definitely be used as a tactic for, like, on the offense side. Like, hey, you don't want to F around and find out, because you can try it if you want to. You know what I mean? But I feel like with other people, it's definitely on the defense. Like, hey, trying to spare you. I don't want you seeing what's in here, because if you do, it's gonna change your whole viewpoint on some things. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and that's
how I take it.
That's good as far as her being. I mean, well, Wise and her are cool. So you know what I mean. Yeah. It's interesting, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Straight up, I put her in a Slytherin. That's only because again, like, she's the head maid, but she's not the head maid because she has leader qualities. She's the head maid because she's the most fit to be dangerous for the position they need her in. If that makes sense. I only put her there because of the way she goes about things. So if she was, like, let's say, like, lighter, and he would be your equivalent to head maid because the leader would be Caesar. Lighter could just kick your behind. So it's just like, I don't have to really ask you anything. If you come over here, I'm gonna put hands on you.
Yeah.
Whereas if they want somebody to put hands on you, they won't let Rena do it. They'll let Ellen or Corin or Lycan himself will. When it comes to getting information out of people and torture tactics, that's when they throw Rena in there.
Okay.
So, like, she's a specialist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm all like, well, what she's special at is kind of like information gathering, which kind of draws me to Ravenclaw Slytherin, because she has to be knowledgeable in what she's doing to be able to do it. But the way that she does it is kind of like more offhanded tactics, where Ravenclaw, even though they gather information, they're more textbook in what they do. Whereas Slytherins are really good at kind of doing things in roundabout ways that might not be. They're really good at bending the rules to get what they need to get, or to get what they want, if not completely ignoring the rules in general. And when you look at the 4 people that's in Slytherin, that's pretty much like, to get what they want, they will do something completely out of the ordinary or the rule book to get it. Like, 2 of them are just straight up thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nicole, you already know when Nicole's probably barely telling the truth, or she's telling a little bit of the truth so that she can get whatever she wants.
Very manipulative.
And I mean, Jane Doe, we still don't even know what her name is, and we're real cool with Jane Doe in the store, and she still won't even tell you what her name is. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, you know what I mean, kind of interesting-ish. And then I just also noticed, like, other than Vivian, like, all of them have that, like, kind of like smile that you can't trust.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I have her in Slytherin. I think she's a hard one to put, but I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I'd be scared to be in a room with. No, I wouldn't. But if I was, actually, that'd be pretty cool. But if I was in trouble, I wouldn't want to be in a room with Rena. I'd rather just get beat up by somebody else, because she's not gonna just beat me up. You know what I mean? That's
right.
Like, I don't think there could be anybody in. I don't think there could be a Hufflepuff or a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw that would actually, like, torture people. You know what I mean? That's like such a Slytherin thing to do. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's the only reason why I thought of it. I don't know. I think that's kind of where I'm stuck at.
We can go for that.
I think that's kind of where I'm stuck at. She's just giving off a little. You can't really trust her. We can because we're on her good side. But like if you weren't, or if you're neutral, it's like I don't know. There's something interesting about that one. Trigger. What you know about Trigger?
Nothing.
Okay.
I genuinely don't know nothing about this woman.
Trigger technically is actually, she has similar backstories to somebody like Lighter. She used to be with another group. They were still doing military stuff. She ended up in a mission where the rest of her people pretty much got lost, either died or got lost. She believes they're still alive. The report said that they were dead. And she pretty much lost her eyesight. Like her eyes got corrupted, and that's why she has the mask on. And she blames herself for all of the people kind of being quote unquote killed or missing. Like I said, she still believes that they are alive. The report said that they were dead. We don't know yet. But she did end up getting transferred over there to Oval Squad with Soldier 11 and some of those other people. She is probably one of the more personality based people that are in like the Oval Squad or the military factions, because she is very sweet. She cares about Soldier way more than Soldier probably even understands. She cares about she's real girly, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? For somebody like, she's very like tender and like, you know what I mean? Even though she's somebody that she's a sniper and she's somebody that's really like, you know what I mean, like a bad MF, if that makes sense. She definitely is that, but she's not shy to like show her emotion. She's not an emotional person, but like we've seen her cry in the game and stuff like that before. Like she's not too hard to where she just blocks off all of the emotions. Like if it happens, she will. If she feels uncomfortable, she'll probably like grab your shirt or something, be like, hey, I kind of feel, you know what I mean? Like yeah, she's somebody like that. She is very emotionally available, which is interesting for people that are in her position. You know what I mean? She's kind of like a little bit like Zhu Wan is very emotionally available, even though she's like a captain and she's not supposed to be. She still is, even though you have some other people that would be like let's say Miyabi's a captain, but Miyabi's not really the most emotionally available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how Trigger is. You know, she's really cool. She's very like soft spoken, still business oriented for sure, very talented and skilled, but like when it calls for it, she's not going to be somebody that you got to like kind of crack the code. Like she'll just tell it like it is, like very like down to, she's probably one of the more, I guess you could say, down to earth characters, and she plays the harmonica. It's a random fact.
Okay. I think with all of that, I might go Gryffindor.
Okay. What do you think for that?
I'm thinking Gryffindor.
Okay. How so?
I don't. The story you told me is not really cunning in the slightest a bit. I mean, outside of her job, which I mean, I guess can be said for all of them.
Yeah.
So for the Ravenclaw situation, you know, about gathering information, that's job pertinent type situation.
Which she's
but it's
really
the fact
good at.
that you're saying that, you know, she has emotions, like she's not just straightforward. Because I look at the rest of the Ravenclaw team, and like, out of all of them, Lucy's going to be the one that showed the most emotion. Which, granted, that emotion is anger for the most part, and mainly directed at one person. But I digress. All right, I'm talking about, we going to ignore that fact. Everybody else, though, they're all level-headed and cool or whatever. So, with Trigger, like you said, she shows emotion and, you know, she feels things. Not to say Ravenclaw people don't feel things, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't see her there.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. I feel like, I don't want to say work-oriented. Because I was going to say, like, for Hufflepuff, she's too work-oriented, but she's not. So I was just like, well, by default, I can only really go Gryffindor. But I don't know if she has leadership qualities, if that makes sense. Obviously, she can be, because, again, her job. Just like she could be Ravenclaw if we just look at her job. But I'm thinking Gryffindor. Okay. You have to be strong in more than just a physical sense. I think what, like you said, her being emotionally available the way that she is and the job that she's in,
Yeah.
and she's still able to, you know what I mean? I think Gryffindor would fit her in my opinion.
I think that makes perfect sense. I'm not gonna lie to you. At first, I was thinking more Ravenclaw because of her. I mean, she's a sniper, so she is very adept at gathering information in general. She is somebody that does actively look for it, but it's more or less kind of for the same reason that Soldier 11 does. But the reason why Soldier 11, in my opinion, falls in Ravenclaw is because if she's not eating a bowl of noodles, she's not doing anything but working out or just gathering more information. That's it. That's her free time. It's just strictly information. Trigger actually goes and does something else. You know what I mean? Like she definitely trains and works out and gathers information for a job here and there, but like she does more than just that, and that's it. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think Gryffindor does make sense, especially a little bit because of how much of she blames kind of herself for like her former group's demise, and she's still trying to go actively find them, even though they're telling her that they're all dead. She's like, nah, there's no way. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that little hope and stuff that's like for me, I was starting at Ravenclaw, but I started going a little bit to Hufflepuff. Because of how much she cares for other people, and she's emotionally available, but she's also down to listen to your emotions. Like if you try to explain all your emotions to Soldier 11, she's gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna cap. You just got done talking for 40 minutes. We could have been knocking some of these push-ups up. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It could have been like, goddamn, like you told me you had to tell me something. You didn't tell me you was finna do. Like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Well, Trigger is kind of more of a down-to-earth listen to people. I was stuck between Hufflepuff and maybe Gryffindor. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's where I was at. But I do see the leadership qualities for Gryffindor for sure.
Yeah.
I like it. I like Gryffindor here.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. One of my wives, right here, Miss Miyabi. Do you know much about her at all?
Ravenclaw.
You know what? I think that's pretty accurate. I think
the information that I know about her. The only reason why I would say Gryffindor is just off of just the pure what do you call it, the leadership thing.
Yeah.
I think Ravenclaw. From what I do know about it, which isn't like a whole hell of a lot, but it is something. And what I do know is that like she is very much so like. Well, no, because the girl with the pink hair, Yamato. What's that girl name?
Yanagi.
Yeah, Yanagi. Yeah, her. Because that's her second in command, essentially, right?
Yeah. Yanagi's there for... So, not to be too much into her, what do you call it? But as far as how the work order goes, obviously Miyabi is the leader. While she is the one being the leader, she's the one that has to attend most of the meetings and do all of the... What do you call it? She does not want to do any of that. Like, Miyabi would rather either be reading a book...
Get in action.
Which, I mean, like, would still fall in Ravenclaw stuff. Like, she would rather be either reading a book or playing, some sort of strategy. Like, she has Ravenclaw aspects, but, like, she's not one for wanting to do work. As far as, like, that's strictly Yanagi, if that makes sense. She would either want to go fight something, train, or maybe read a book or something like that. Like most, I think in the game, there was a couple of times where she purposely tried to skip out on some of the meetings, and Yanagi's like, dude, bring your behind to this meeting. You know you're supposed to be here. And Miyabi's like, bro, please. Like, tell him I'm doing something, even though you're not doing anything.
Right. Hey, I'm like rescuing a cat out of a tree.
Yeah, for sure. So she tries to dodge some of the paperwork as much as possible, but her leadership on the battlefield, and I mean, she is a void hunter. So that is the 7 most important people in the entire game. Or in New Eridu, that was awarded to her from the, what do you call it? She's, I think, the only void hunter so far in the game. Her leadership on the battlefield is definitely unparalleled from anybody else. Like, so it's interesting. I like the Ravenclaw. I like the Gryffindor. She is a little bit, she would be more or less like, I think, Silver Zero and B as far as the leadership goes, but not really like the most vocal person, if that makes sense. Like, she's vocalized, but not as much as like Coletta or Caesar would be. But the actions that she does and what she does to help lead her team, I think is Gryffindor-esque, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's interesting. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm thinking Yanagi is a Ravenclaw 100%.
No, yeah. Put her in Ravenclaw.
I think Yanagi is the Ravenclaw because she's the one. I mean, both of them are smart for sure, but she's the one that's actually punctual. She be getting on Haramasa because Haramasa's always calling out of work. like,
what is up with this faction?
I'm telling you, they just tweak out. This is my favorite faction for sure. But Haramasa he stay calling out of work. Now, sometimes because he genuinely feels bad, and other times it's just because he genuinely doesn't want to do any work. And they juice him because Sokaku is not allowed to do any paperwork. Any paperwork Sokaku's supposed to do, they throw it right over there to Haramasa's desk, or Yanagi does some of it. Because she's a kid.
Well, yeah, but also,
So Haramasa's like, Brian, on cap, I'm not trying to do all that. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and call out. And Yanagi get on his behind, or she pull up to the house and drag his behind out of bed herself. So it just depends. But I think Yanagi is the most responsible. So, you know what I mean? She's more of she's kind of like Lucy, holding the glue together. Because you got a leader that kind of doesn't want to be in any of those meetings. I ain't gonna cap. But she will put boot to behind. You got a literal child running around eating food and coloring stuff on crayons, and the dude that really just works here. Like, literally. So like,
definition of clock in, clock out.
Yeah, he's like, Brian. He's the non-enemy. Like, dude, I'm not doing no overtime. If I get off at 6, at 5:30, I'm probably not gonna do anything. Because if it lasts longer than 30 minutes, no, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm gonna sit here and I'm an NPC until 5:59, where I'm gonna be standing at the clock out station waiting for that number to come. That is Haramasa. Like, literally, bro. I'm going home. I'm not playing with y'all. So yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right, then you can put Miyabi in Gryffindor then, with the logic that is.
I think that's pretty much a good dynamic here. Like, yeah, if Yanagi's like, bro, if I were to ever take a week off, the building would burn. But like, I don't know, something would happen. So Kaku ain't finna do nothing but probably blow something up. Haramasa just gonna go home, and Miyabi's probably not gonna be there because she's trying to duck she's probably gonna be hiding in the closet, not trying to go to a meeting somewhere. So
insane, but okay.
Yufufu is one of the new characters. So you have,
I didn't even know that was a name like
1, 2, and her, but she's shown a little bit more personality than these two have. So we don't know much about the backstory or anything like that, but she is, if I'm gonna be honest with you, other than the fact that she can kick behind, because from what we do know, she is one of the senior sisters at the Yunkwe Summit. Just think of that as kind of like some old kind of like monk-esque faction where, like, you know, there's a bunch of like, you got like seniors, I guess you can say, and then you have like the students. She's one of the senior teachers. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, she acts pretty much like Sokaku, but not childish, if that makes sense.
God.
Very bubbly, very happy, very, people like her a lot. You know what I mean? She's just
throw her up in Hufflepuff.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
I think that's probably where she's, even when her story comes out, she's probably going to be Hufflepuff just based off of what we have seen. Ellen, you pretty much know everything you need to know about Ellen. She just want to go to sleep, dude.
Yeah, that girl just don't. Just like, bruh, I just want to sleep or eat some sweets.
Yeah, that's it. If not, eat sweets and then sleep after.
Right. Like, vice versa, both ways, either way, it don't even matter. Give me my candy, give me a pillow. One of these things is about to get beat on
and
right now.
And she's very popular in high school, if I remember correctly. I think it's because
of the Victoria, hilarious.
I think it's because of her spot at the Victoria housekeeping, like, maid services. So people know that she's a part of, like, this really cool little maid cafe. But at the same time, she's like, bro, I don't even really like people. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
Like, well, she likes, like, her friends and stuff. But, like, she would much rather be going to sleep than doing homework,
than entertaining folks.
Yeah, so she's like, bro, I'm here, but really, I'm not.
Low key, that's definitely some Hufflepuff type situation in my book.
Interesting.
I feel it. I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ellen, I got your back, girl.
No, this is the reason why Haramasa was my spirit animal. He's like, bro, like, no, or like, I'm not coming into work today because I really just don't feel like it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I can't do it. I don't fit in no more. Say he get off at 6. That man's standing at the clock out station at 5:57. He gonna stand there for 3 minutes. He said, bro, I'm about
Watch
to go.
that thing
I'm
tick
about to
by
go
like,
home. I'm out of here.
Insanity.
Hey, hard muscle, can you? No. No, I'm going home.
What does that clock say? What does that clock say? Tell me what that clock say.
Right.
It says 5:58. Exactly.
Hell no. You know I stopped working at 5:30. you know I stop at 5:30. Don't even, man, stop it. You know I take my bathroom break at 5:30. I ain't coming out until it's 5:55.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And you ask me anything, I got stomach issues. Nekomiya, you should pretty much know most of her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Know her. I would not call her a full-blown Slytherin.
Interesting. Why not? Because that's kind of where I was going.
No, she is cunning. She definitely is cunning. I'm not taking that away from her. She definitely is. But she. Oh no, am I mixing up her story with Nicole's? Well, no, no. I remember her story. It's like she was with this gang or whatever. And like, you know, the gang was doing good, and all of a sudden they decided to go down the dark path, and Neko was like, what the, like, you know, what the hell? What's happening here? Am I mixing up a story?
No, you're not. So she was kind of cunning to get into the group to begin with. That was a gang that wasn't necessarily like the nicest gang at all. I mean, they started doing some bad stuff, and I don't know. It's interesting because
I'm tripping, like, cause again, she was a part of a gang.
Yeah, for sure.
But they was doing stuff for good. Cause I do distinctly remember that. Cause like the two dudes, I think in the story or whatever, they was like, oh, Neko, whatever the case, and they would be like joking with her. It would be all jovial and stuff. Something happened, and now them same two dudes, they don't even like want to talk to her or nothing because of the shady stuff that they doing, and they didn't want to tell her about. Or am I tripping? Is that not part of her story? Am I mixing it up?
Well, she ended up getting caught doing some, not necessarily backstabbing, but not even double agent work. Me, like, it's interesting because I put her in Slytherin not because she's like somebody that's intentionally trying to. Well, she is. Okay, this is interesting because I don't want to make it seem like she's a bad person. Where nobody in Slytherin's technically a bad person, right? But I think her main personality is just naturally cunning. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, well,
obviously,
cat,
exactly, and it goes with the character, right? Because she lied to the group she was in. She lied before she even got into that group, and then when she was even with the cunning hair, she was lying throughout the entire like story.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even that she's a bad person, and even after she's cool with the cunning hairs and everything, she always messing with Ambi. Ambi don't trust her. Ambi trusts her as far as she can throw her. Like, it don't matter what happens. Like Nekomiya will be like, hey, I got a present for you. Ambi's like, I'm not really finna open that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because, well, she could be, who's it from? You? No. Like, no shot. Everybody else? Cool. So I feel like she's just a naturally cunning person. She's not necessarily somebody that's like mean or bad or trying to like technically, but I think it goes with the fact that she's a cat as well. And then it's like the duality like between somebody like her and somebody like Seth, where Seth's just like the honest, you know, person, like the honest soldier that you would want, and then you have Nekomiya that's kind of like, you know, if she could pinch some of your pennies, she definitely would.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Put her in Slytherin. Put her in Slytherin.
I think that's. Yeah.
I knew. So I was gonna put her in Slytherin, but I wasn't thinking she was a full blown Slytherin.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I wouldn't say she's a full blown Slytherin, but it's like she is one though.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Hey, put my homeboy in Gryffindor.
Oh, my boy Ben. For real? I was thinking Hufflepuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ben is one of the sweetest characters in the dang game, bro.
No, definitely is. I feel like he is the most loyal out of everybody in this thing. He is so freaking loyal. Because of the level of loyalty that he has, that's straight up Gryffindor. Through and through. That's why I say that. He is so loyal to Coletta. It's like, oh my God. Any and everything that he does is for her to make sure she's good and that, you know what I'm saying?
That's he could fit in a couple of what he calls it, but I think Grace is going to be more of a Ravenclaw than him.
Oh no, Grace is textbook Ravenclaw. She's an engineer,
a super nerd. So
yeah, no, she's an engineer. Engineers are like predestined to be Ravenclaws.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
I could see where you see this. It was interesting because Ben is probably like the nicest character in the game. Like, and Hufflepuffs are just usually like they're no matter how they look on the outside or whatever, they would. You know what I mean? They would do like anything for you. You know what I mean? Right. Like the Gryffindors are very loyal. Hufflepuffs are also extremely loyal, and like everybody likes Hufflepuffs. Yeah. Like, dude, Ben is like, especially the story with like the other bears. Like he was saying, like, yeah, bro. Like, people are like scared of me because I look like this, but like I don't. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a bad guy. Like not at all. Yeah. Like, it's like, and I feel bad for like.
Yeah, man. His homies are getting the worst.
Yeah, like, and I was feeling kind of bad. I said, "Dang, bro, that man Ben Black." Okay. Are they scared of you just for walking in the store? Yeah, I feel that. But no, Ben is sweet, bro. I love Ben. Ben's cool, bro.
Ben's a sweetheart. I'm literally chalking this up to because he is the most loyal character out of everybody here.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I think he's the most loyal out of everybody. Not saying nobody else in this game is like not loyal to who it is that they have their loyalties with.
Yeah, technically everybody is loyal. I would say that.
Right. But I say his loyalty level is so freaking high. It's like, Lord have mercy. The things he would do for Coletta to make sure that she is good no matter what the situation, no matter what, is insanity to me. It's like that bear will give up any and everything for her. That's on like that level of loyalty that he has is just pure Gryffindor.
Interesting.
Also, he is the leader of all of his homies on the work site and everything like that. You know, wherever Ben going, they finna go.
Oh, what is... I forgot his actual position. But he does some logistics and numbers, too. In fact, I think he's in charge of that. Like, the math and all that. No, he's in charge of logistics and numbers, because Grace is only in charge of strictly, like, the robots itself. Like, she's a tech. She's in charge of the tech work. He's in charge of money and logistics and stuff like that. And Anton is the one that's in the field, like, in charge of, like, making the people work and stuff. While Coletta's in the office, probably getting fried by paperwork. Yeah, because I remember, Ben, what was he saying? I think one of the little trust events, if I remember, I don't know if it was a trust event or just you randomly talked to him. He was telling you about like the math that he had to do for some of the revenue that they made this month or something like that. It was something like that. But he's in charge of like like Ben is extremely smart.
Oh yeah.
Like extremely smart. Other than maybe Grace, he's probably the smartest like person there. Like Ben is But yeah, surprisingly, Ben's not even the one that's in the field. That's Anton. They got Anton in the field doing that. He's the foreman. Ben damn near behind the desk, like crunching those numbers. But Corin, we know Corin. You know her. Poor girl. She's the airhead.
Lord have mercy. Such a pretty cat. Jesus Christ.
Frankenstein.
Where would I put her? Hey, I don't know. Huh. I'm at stump. I don't see Gryffindor. I don't see Slytherin.
I kind of put her at Hufflepuff.
Ravenclaw. Maybe. Yeah, I was just saying maybe Hufflepuff. If I'm going to go by the duck, like, if I gotta say where I know for a fact she wouldn't be at, by default, she ends up in Hufflepuff. Because I don't really see like the greatest leadership qualities in her. I don't really see her being used for intel unless I'm wrong and I missed out on that part of the story. And she's not really all that cunning. Not enough to be in Slytherin. So by default, she would have to go to Hufflepuff.
Yeah, which is interesting because, dang, I was gonna say the Victoria housekeeping almost has a character in every category, but they don't have a Gryffindor. Interesting. Okay, so Ju-Yuan. I mean, I think there's pretty much only really one place for her.
Slytherin,
girl.
No, textbook Gryffindor.
Yeah, I think she's pretty much just Gryffindor, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, she's right there with Sid. She does things for the good. Obviously, she's a leader. She's the whole chief and everything like that.
Mm.
It's textbook Gryffindor as well.
Bernice. Oh,
God in heaven, something's wrong with this girl.
That's probably the most extroverted character in the entire game.
Her and Billy.
Yeah, Bernice ain't finna shut up. I'm just gonna let you.
God.
She is the life of the party. Her and Billy are the lives of the party. Like if.
And that's why they're both in the same house.
Yeah. You might as well throw. In fact, maybe sooner or later, I might end up doing a tier list where I think everybody would be at if they were in a party. That'd be fun. I know for sure dance floor will be Billy and Bert. They are on the dance floor. For real.
Oh no, Antoine's on that floor too.
Yeah, Anton's on the floor for sure.
Anton's on the floor.
Anton's not even he's not that as much as a social butterfly. Those two, you could put them in any group and they're gonna be talking to whoever's there. I mean, Anton, sure. But it's like I feel like Billy and Bernice can also get you talking back. Does that make sense? Where like Anton, you put him in a group, then somebody might just be like, all right, this dude's probably like, you know what I mean? Not to like throw him under the bus, but like he's very like Anton's very, what's up, bro? Like boom, boom, boom. I mean, Anton could probably work too, but I could see it. Like Bernice and Billy, you put them in any group, and they could probably make friends no matter where you throw them at. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, so we are back pretty much at Pokra. These are the two characters. Yi Zhuan is the one that is in charge of the Yunquai Summit where Yufufu and Po are from. But again, we don't know much about her. I mean, from the little stuff that they have shown us, to be honest, she's pretty much like just Miyabi. You know what I mean? She's not a Void Hunter, but she's a Void Hunter level investigator. So she hasn't been given the Void Hunter title for whatever reason, either because all 7 are already filled or because she declined it. We don't know. We'll find out in the story mode. But we don't know much about her or Po. So that's the reason why I kind of have both of them here. We just know that Yufufu is very bubbly and very happy and energetic. So that's why we throw her up there. Pokra. I've been thinking about it.
I still don't know.
I've been thinking about it.
I don't want to say Slytherin. I don't think.
Because I don't see Gryffindor. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No.
Like, I mean, obviously she has loyalty and all that type of stuff, but I'm not gonna say that she's definitely not somebody that wants to just put herself in the forefront as far as, hey, I'm the leader, or I'm this, or I have that, and I'm here for, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not somebody that I would say would do that, if that makes sense.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I doubt that. Hufflepuff, I mean, I don't think she's a Hufflepuff either, because I think Hufflepuffs would be a little bit more like, well, the ones that are up here, or maybe like somebody like Ben or Trigger, where they're a little bit more emotionally available to speak to people and to hear your problems, and you know what I mean, like kind of stuff like that. I don't think she's one of those either. So then you look at Ravenclaw and Slytherin. When you first met her, she was a little bit more Slytherin-esque, where it's kind of like, you know, cunning, but I mean, she was a gang member, so it's kind of like, it's understandable, like they can't always tell the truth and be whatever. But after that butt kicking that Bernice gave her, she's on that side. She's not really doing anything crazy, like as far as like trying to backstab anybody. She's doing whatever people tell her to do, pretty much. Like, hey, we need you to go grab donuts. Okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not like she's really showing off Slytherin aspects as far as being cunning or naturaling, whatever. And it's kind of like, I'm damn near gonna default her to Ravenclaw because she is a smart character. But I don't see her in
Ravenclaw either,
Gryffindor, or Slytherin. Like,
the only reason, to be honest, I don't know where I would see her in any of these houses, to be honest with you. The
only reason why I think it's either Ravenclaw or Slytherin, because Hufflepuff, I wouldn't say she's the most social butterfly or any of that type of stuff, because she's just not. And I'm not saying if she doesn't have like that natural exudance of charisma like somebody like Lighter will have, where everybody just kind of wants to, like, most people just want to be around him anyways. She's not like that. She's not like a natural born like leader, I don't think. Like she's perfectly fine with being probably more or less in the shadows because she doesn't want that much attention on herself anyways. And I wouldn't say she's really emotionally available to like really hear about your problems. That she wouldn't care, but that wouldn't be she wouldn't be the first person I would tell, to be honest. I would probably tell Bernice first because she's somebody that would actually listen. But Pulchra, I don't know. She is highly intelligent for sure. So, you know, Ravenclaw is there, and she was cunning-ish at the beginning, and the way that she talks kind of gives off a little bit Slytherin. But, like, I don't think she's a naturally cunning person. Like, yeah, she has backhanded jokes, and she's a smart behind, you know what I mean? But, like, other than that, I think it's really just those two. I don't really know where to put her still. Like, I was leaning towards Slytherin, but then, like, I look at the other Slytherins, and they're all naturally, like, cunning or backhanded, or there's something you just can't put your finger on, but there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, all of them fit that bill. Pulchra kind of does, but not as much as the others do.
Not, like, if you put her in Slytherin, it would be a huge gap. If, if it was, like, a testing sort of situation, or whatever the case maybe, it would be a huge gap between the people that is listed before her and then her.
Yeah. Which like there are a couple of people in some of these other tiers which you could say that they're in a tier and they belong in that tier, but it's still somewhat of a huge gap still. You know what I mean? Because it's like, even these two, in my opinion, could have been Gryffindor or Hufflepuff, either of them. Just because these two don't exude the natural leadership that all of these other people do. Like, all of these people are lead by example people. Ben's behind a desk all day. And, I mean, she's a soldier, but she's not even the captain of the squad. They're both, like, very emotional, available, and very loyal, for sure. But, like, I wouldn't even put her there. You know what I mean? To be honest, it has to be one of these two.
She literally can't go nowhere else but those two. I was defaulting her, like, after everything, I was like, I defaulted her to Ravenclaw, but I was just like, would Ravenclaw be even the best place?
I might default her to Slytherin because she's at least shown some. Whereas Ravenclaw, we know that she is intelligent, but she hasn't shown any intel like everybody else has shown the brain power. Does that make sense? Not saying that she's stupid, but like, you already know she's a lead tech, so she's went to university and studied all of this type of stuff, and she's a robot maniac for sure. She's the one that's holding all the glue. Like, these two are the ones that's holding all the glue together and pretty much doing all the logistics and paperwork for their respective, what do you call it? They have to have the knowledge on what's going on for their faction to work because they're in charge of it. You know what I mean? And that's like their whole thing. Soldier, if she doesn't do anything other than focus on working out and gathering information for her next missions, that's it. That's all she does. That she's strictly in the lab at all times. Like, she doesn't do anything else other than eat ramen. These two, pretty much the same thing. Gathering intel, they're the brains pretty much of their operations. Like, she's not the brains of the operation. That's Lucy. You know what I mean? They're from the same faction. I kind of throw her in Slytherin because I don't mind it. The little, you know, she has a gap. Like, she'd be over here, but she would be a Slytherin. Like, these people, they just exude it. That they're Slytherin, and I don't care what nobody says. Some people, like, for sure, these three are probably the most Slytherin here.
Yeah, definitely.
The most Slytherin here, 100%.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much where we go here. If I had to make a guess for these, like, these two would just be my random guess. I'm going to assume she'll probably end up being like a leader, kind of like Miyabi is. I kind of see those two being pretty much the same character. And I'm pretty sure Panda's probably going to be up here in Hufflepuff. I'm pretty sure he's going to be probably the most sweet character in the faction, and everybody's going to love him and be around him and just want to be, you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to assume. Could be wrong. We'll see when that comes out. But I think I'm pretty much good on this list. What do you think? Think it looks decent?
like it. I'm happy with the results.
I think it looks decent.
I'm happy with how the list turned out. I stand by outside of Potro.
Yeah.
Outside of her, I'm secure with everybody.
I think this works out pretty well. But let me know what you guys think. You know what I mean? We as you can see, we had a nice little deep conversation about this. So this wasn't just throwing some stuff out. We were trying to actually cook here. Let us know if we burnt the food in the kitchen though.
Well, I know I didn't.
Maybe. We don't know because like I said, we have a lot of people that think that might have more information than
no, I would like to hear the other opinions though. Like I would like to hear like, hey, like, you know, what's everybody else's opinion?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
We could.
And see if we completely missed out on somebody. I think we're pretty decent, right? You know what I mean? We'll see what everybody else says and then go from there. But y'all already know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for coming over here. Make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button. Hop in the comments and let us know what you would have changed or how whatever this list looks like. You know, just let us know, and you know, that's it for me and Mel. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. You already know what time it is.
Bye, y'all.